Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL News Radio for the last time this season, regular season at least. We're going to have some postseason action. We just don't know where yet. But in the regular season, last time it's a BYU football game day. Can't believe it. It's been 3 months since the Southern Illinois game, and now we're here at game number 12. In many respects, it feels, Matt, like it was a lifetime ago, that right. Southern Illinois game, but it also feels like yesterday. I can't ever describe how that always works, but final regular season game day of the year, BYU and Houston. They kick it off at 8:15. Spoiler, it'll probably be 8:25. But
yeah, there's no shot it's 8:15.
But it's going to be a late night. It's going to be a cold one. How you feeling about this game as we dive into our score predictions?
I'm feeling really good about this game because of the way that things ended in Arizona State. Now, it was a heartbreaking loss, but you were down 21-3, and there was a moment in that third quarter where I just felt like this game is over. I think I even said to you in the Sun Devil press box, these type of losses are easy to swallow because you're soundly beat.
Yep.
When you are beaten, it doesn't hurt. A loss like Kansas, that hurts. When your defense balled out and it wasn't good enough to win, that one hurts. And yet, in that Arizona State game that I'm referencing here, you found a lot of good things that I think are going to carry over to Houston. Now, Houston's defense is much better than Arizona State's, but you're back home. I think you lean into what works. Hopefully there was some confidence gained that even amidst one of the worst half of footballs that we played, we can still get back in the thick of things and compete. So I like where BYU's sitting right now. I think there's optimism. This team is still healthy now. Harrison Taggart, kind of a scary situation too, because we saw him throwing up in the tent at Arizona State, and then correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like head injury that he's doubtful from. That's scary, Mitch, to be throwing up with a head injury. I don't like that at all. So I would not anticipate him playing. But outside of Taggart, I think they're pretty healthy. And to have a senior night at home, a chance to get to 10 wins, I like where BYU's at, and I think they're going to get the win. Here's my score prediction for you. 27-13. I think they'll score plenty of points. I think they'll lead for most of the game, if not the whole game, and they'll cruise to a semi-comfortable win. And then I also like Dave Fleming being on the call.
Yes.
Let's be honest here, Mitch.
Let's call it what it is. I almost wanted to let the TV crew, Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, and Stormy Bonatoni, hey, you guys are part of basically BYU's weekly game notes now. Like, you're a stat. Stormy Bonatoni, the sideline reporter. I can't believe we're saying this, but we are. We're going to go there. Stormy, they're 11-0 when Stormy is on the sideline.
Her debut was the COVID year, right?
Yes, COVID year. It was that La Tech Friday night game, and then she had a sideline report, and she had a blank sheet of paper, like white paper, and it became a meme. And ever since, she's been like the BYU sideline ESPN fixture. And the Utah game, you go through all these games. Arizona in 2021, in Vegas.
Utah 2021.
Yes, there's been many, this crew, when they're calling a BYU game,
you're feeling good.
It's a lock of the century, baby. So
there's two broadcasting crews that just scare the living bejeebers out of me. Mark Jones and whoever he's with, keep me away from Mark Jones.
Yep.
And Dave Pasch. Keep me away from Dave Pasch, who did the Arizona State game. If somehow BYU wins this football game and things go their way later today, and they get to the Big 12 Championship game, I like that crew too. Sean McDonough, you stay away from those cursed broadcasters. So maybe, with Fleming back in the saddle, this is a good omen for BYU.
I'm convinced that only BYU fans can appreciate this conversation because Cougar fans have they have their opinions on who they like as far as broadcasters go. And
it's not Mark Jones.
Yeah, Mark Jones is not their guy. He a long time ago, he had some good calls. I think the 0-1 BYU UNLV. But again, that was 23 years ago.
My goodness, you are going back in time.
I'm sick. I have a disease, I guess you could say, with my broadcaster crew history. I do have I legitimately have a spreadsheet on this of what the broadcast crews are in the 21st century. It's kind of interesting to see how to show you.
Who are your top three crews? Just to quickly deviate.
I would say my top three crews, well, my all-time favorite was Keith Jackson, Dan Fouts, 2003
Whoa,
USC.
Nelly!
Because that just had such mystique and aura. And me as a teenage kid, I was like, I was at that game in the Coliseum, but then coming home and throwing in the VHS, because that was the dying days of VHS recordings, throwing in the tape and listening to that. Dan Fouts, I just talked with Bronco Mendenhall before the game, and I didn't know if I talked to David Copperfield or a defensive coordinator because he talked about illusions and magic, and I didn't know what who was talking to. So that crew, but I love Dave Fleming. Dave Fleming's great. I love Roxy Bernstein on basketball. So Dave Fleming, give me that West Coast action. He knows Western teams. There's something to that. There's an art to that because for the crews that don't know out West, teams out here, this culture, you just don't get it. And I think I like Dave Fleming because he understands Western sports and the Western scene. So I'm all about this crew. I think they're good.
Does he give you the confidence that BYU gets to 10 wins?
Well, BYU, I've got the confidence that they'll win this game. They're a much better football team than Houston. Houston doesn't scare me much. They don't have much firepower. They don't have the personnel, the skill, the talent on the offensive side to put much fear into me with this matchup. But I just think that I'm really curious to see how BYU's offense performs in this one. I think BYU wins, and I think they win comfortably, 21-10. The final score, I think, will leave Cougar fans feeling like BYU Cougar fans feeling, is that great of a win? But it's solid. Just get the win. That's all that matters. Remember, that's what the playoff committee supposedly says. Hey, if you win close, we're not going to punish you, right? We're not going to punish you.
Yeah.
I have to just keep taking my shots at the playoff committee because they're just so frustrating anymore. But BYU 21, Houston 10. Cougs get their 10th win of the season, 19th season. They get to 10 wins in program history. That'd be pretty cool in a year where it's the 100th season of Cougar football. I think BYU gets it done, and let's hope they can get a chance to play in Arlington next week.
I think game day helped BYU a little bit today by just going chalk across the board in their picks. That's just not how the Big 12 has gone this year. So we'll have to see. Of course, Arizona State is ongoing, and we've got Farmageddon from Ames, Iowa, coming up a little later tonight. But by halftime tonight, we'll know what fate BYU has, and hopefully they easily take care of business at home, leave no doubt against the Houston Cougars, and then we'll hope for the best in what's been a crazy Big 12 conference, Mitch.
It's been a great show today, Matt. Big thanks to our team here on Cougar Sports Saturday, Nate Slack, our intern, Allie, and it's been we're going to have great coverage tonight on KSLSports.com inside LaVelle Edwards Stadium, and then you'll listen to the call at 8:15, and also our extended pregame beginning at 6. And if you missed any part of the show, subscribe to the podcast on the KSL Sports app or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll talk to you tonight here on KSL News Radio.